Just a couple of days ago on the Transformer Slag podcast live stream, we covered some news that broke of a potential future Studio Series 86 Commander Class Generation 1 Optimus Prime. And I kind of wanted to save this segment for the week and really give you guys a big, deep visual explanation of what's going on here and what potentially we could expect and why it even exists and why we do need to have this. So this was something we reported back in late August of 2023. We talked about how there was going to be a Studio Series set of listings for 2024, and a part of those listings was a Studio Series Deluxe Class TF5 Drift, so something obviously from the last night, a Studio Series Deluxe Class Rise Lifeline, which I guess is a reaction product with the video game that might be potentially a RC repaint into the Paradon Medic Lifeline. Sure, I guess that's the guess. But the big thing was we saw this listing for a Transformers Generation Studio Series Commander that was ambiguous. No name, no nothing, just Studio Series Commander. And it had a product code number of F8514. That's all we knew. JT Prime 17 ends up showing up with this listing a couple days just recently of product code F8514. What do you know? It's the Studio Series Commander Class 86 Optimus Prime. So there was a lot of drama, heated debates. People were like, we don't need this. Some people were angry about it. They said they were already happy with what they had with their Earthrise one. Why does this exist? Well, I'm going to kind of break down why it should exist. I mean, there's a business side of it. There's a whole bunch of different things. So we'll start from the top and we'll break it down piece by piece, essentially, because there is a lot to discuss here, really. So why do we need this product and why is it so important? So it's been 4 years since we got that Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. Sure, he got package refreshed a year later afterwards in Kingdom, but at the end of the day, it was 4 years ago when we first laid eyes on this figure and he first hit the stores and was quite a hit, but with many fans, was quite the definitive Optimus figure for that time. You know, that slightly before the big V time in a lot of ways. But right from the beginning, we knew that this was not going to be our end-all be-all of retail non-masterpiece Optimus Prime Generation 1 figures. Even John Warden himself at Toy Fair 2019 said that him and Yuya-san, who worked on it, could only do so much within the limitations that the mold could give them and the budget for that leader class price point, and that's the figure that we have today. Even early CG production teasers and concepts showed Optimus Prime with way more paint and detail than what the final product was. Some areas of the final product itself you could see were not painted because they were either using unpaintable POM plastic or they had to keep the budget, low because of how it was sculpted and molded with certain gang molding of plastics. They had to keep the budget low at the end of the day. Some examples, like you look at the inside of Optimus Prime's legs, they're not completely painted blue. There's areas that are the unpainted POM plastic of gray that's shared with other areas of his body, so they just kind of kept the budget that way. His elbows are not painted in the original. There's clearly areas that could be left open. There should be red for those elbows there. So there's a lot of stuff that if you do a side-by-side comparison with the animation model, you see there is room for improvement. And the plastic and paint budget was just not there. Even a semi-truck, if you look at the semi-truck mode, the air filter cans on the side, those are not painted in. There's a lot of room for improvement there. And if you put it, again, next to that Generation 1 model, it becomes even more obvious where tweaks could be done, but the budget and the paint was not there even for a leader class. And when it comes to giving, even more of that extra that the leader class price point could not give, think about it. It's missing his Energon axe, doesn't come with that. Doesn't have his rocket pack, even though it's technically side swipes, but he doesn't have his iconic rocket pack. He doesn't even come with roller for his trailer. All of those accessories, you actually had to buy separately from an online-only exclusive, sold out in a couple of minutes, Generation Selects Centaurion drone figure. And if you look for what a Centurion drone figure goes for right now in the secondary market, yeah, well, let me tell you, you might just pass to get your Energon Axe, your roller, and your rocket pack. Yeah. So it's not good. It's not good. Already you kind of are a little behind right there. And then we get to the trailer. We get to his trailer even. And as the Hasbro legend Aaron Archer has always put it, it's a big old box. And what do you do with that big old box? Well, this box was, in the case of a big old unpainted, floppy, boring box. There was nothing going on. It was the most unpainted, gray, boring, extra inclusion in a leader class. And there was so much fertile ground for gimmicks and paint and detail. It's bad when the original Generation 1 toy from at that point 35 years ago did more with just a few stickers and the limited molded in plastic and no paint than that this one did. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad when you think about it. But I don't want to, make this the let's hate on Earthrise Leader Optimus, but it's more just to point out what could be done better in the next foray at a Commander class and more budget. But getting back to it, the truck detail, when you look at the front and the side of the trailer, more and more it becomes clear that there's something that needs to be more screen accurate than what was done with Earthrise and what Studio Series is really all about at the end of the day, being these screen accurate items. And this Commander class will no doubt be in scale. It'll still be the same size as the Leader Earthrise one. Just how are they going to pad out that price point if it stays in scale? And that's going to be what all the extras that they're going to probably try to keep in there. There will no doubt give him more articulation, make a better sculpt, even though he'll have the same size. No more of those 5mm siege peg point gimmick holes all over his body. And at that current budget, with the molding in plastic and paint, we could probably get a much more accurate animation model. So no more POM plastic in areas that will look weird compared to that animation model. And same thing with the alt mode. And of course, the sculpting of the alt mode too. Optimus Prime could come with a better Matrix accessory. Maybe something that opens up and has a little more to it than just that same old 5mm peg Matrix accessory we've got 50 times over at this point. I mean, you could practically build an army with those Matrixes. We've gotten so many of them. So this one might even open. It could finally come with an Energon Axe, like I said, his rocket pack, maybe even a little Spike figure. So it's something where there's a lot here that could be done. The trailer base could finally have all the bells and whistles and finally a decent roller to be included with it. So we're thinking, it's going to do what Masterpiece has done over the years for Optimus Prime. We've had 3 of them. We've had MP01, we've had MP10, and MP44. They could pull everything that they learned from those ones and bring it down to what we like to call a mini masterpiece for the retail market at a Commander class price point that could make it a lot more realistic at a Commander class price point. And it could be a true celebration of the 40th anniversary of Transformers. And that's what it's really all about in the end, especially from the business side of it, is this is to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the brand and have the most iconic character and face of the Transformer brand in a big fancy box sitting in the toy aisle for everyone to see, to catch the eyes of hardcore fans, casual fans, lapsed fans that we might have lost over the years to other brands. Much like how MP01 Masterpiece Optimus Prime, aka 20th anniversary Optimus Prime, did 20 years ago, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the line being this big expensive collector item. 40th anniversary Studio Series 86 Commander class will do just that too. And that's just the good business side of it. And if you haven't been a student of the game this long as I have, then you're missing that, and this is, when moments like these happen, that it's very clear what they're trying to do here. And, if this, look, when you first saw Earthrise Leader Optimus Prime and the shortcomings that it had right out of the gate, you knew it was only a matter of time, especially with the 40th anniversary being only a couple years away from that point, that this was probably going to happen. We knew at some point we were going to get a Studio Series 86 Optimus at some point. So it is what it is, but I truly feel that this does deserve to have a place, and it makes a lot of sense, and it'll be very much the definitive Optimus for a lot of people and a go-to item. Much like when we got MP10 all those years ago in retail through the Masterpiece, when Western releases of Masterpiece were much more common for Generation 1, and how everyone scrambled to get that because it was such a great figure. So it's going to be the same thing here. The question is, are you excited about it? Do you regret buying Earthrise Optimus Prime? Maybe you overpaid for it, and now you're like, ugh, you know. Are you trying to maybe unload on it now so that you could get ready for this big release? Who knows? But we will see. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents. Hope you kind of enjoyed what I had to say. Let me know what you think about all of this. And thank you again for listening to the Transformer Slag podcast. And I'll talk to you in the near future.